presentation to highlight your expertise and professional credibility that align to the latest changes and new features of Oracle products, right? And over 60 of our certification exams are updated to the latest 2020 release of the products. In a paid subscription, your first attempt on the testing is free on all the certification undertaking offered within your subscription. So which simply means that, let's say on an Oracle database learning subscription, there's about 27 certifications in there. Simply means that you have a free attempt on your first try, free take against all of those 27 certifications. So let's go back to the second type of learning, which is the courses. And the courses are basically a compilation of modules. Let me just show you a little bit here where the modules are. My filter is not working, but this is working on the paid subscription. But the modules are basically shorter in duration, thereby allowing you to gain the knowledge quickly on a particular process. So you can see here, there's about 3 modules for a total of 2 hours and 43 minutes, okay? So with the bookmarking features, you can comfortably stop your training anytime, knowing you'll be able to pick up where you left off when you're ready to start, okay? So I just also want to show you, a feature here where you can use the search box here. So as I key in a word, let's say I'm looking for topics around security. You can see the tiles are moving around, right? Trying to figure out and trying to nail down the specific words and identify all of those courses that are available to me. And so really it focuses my attention or my search towards a focus training that I'm looking for, okay? So I just want to show you, let's look at the Cloud Security Administration, okay? At this point, you'll see this is a learning path, and this is what I meant when I said, this is a collection of interrelated topics. So basically, you'll see a series of courses here, right? So you know how hard it is when you find a course that you're interested in, but then you think about, is this a prerequisite to something, or what would be an ideal course to take after I'm done with this? So with the learning path, we took care of all that questions, right? So we're now providing you with a series of courses, and we listed it out in the manner or the recommended sequence that you need to take them, so that it really builds on all of the the individual topics to give you the overall knowledge that you need to learn. And then you can also launch the topics from here. And then the certification that I've shown you earlier, this is where you're able to take that free attempt, right? So once you feel you're ready and you have enough, that you build enough confidence that, yeah, you know what, I think I'm going to pass this exam and I can take this. So again, your first attempt on a paid subscription is free. So if there's 32 in a learning library, you get 1 free take against all of them. So, it's a great way to, test your understanding and really, so that you can, build your, you can highlight your expertise and build that professional credibility, that aligns to the industry that you're representing. So what I'm going to do at this point is launch a course so I could show you the highlights of the features of the subscription. And then also, as I show you some of the highlights, I'll also share some best practices that really promotes the personalized way of learning, okay? So right off, we've got the video here. I'm gonna, click on play, and there's going to be, audio on this. I'll let this play for a second. Okay, and I'm going to mute this at this point, so I'm not speaking over the instructor. But what I want to draw your attention to is the playlist. The playlist is basically, you know, the table of contents here, right? And so you could, you know, it'll show you also the amount of time needed to complete this, right? And so if you're, you know, maybe just filling up time because of a canceled meeting or you have some downtime, it really helps you to schedule, you know, the timing of your training with this timings here. Now, also with the playlist to the right of that is the transcript. In the transcript, I'm going to play this along so that you can see it. Follows the audio of the video. So as you can see here, it starts to scroll through, right? And so, you know, following the audio allows you to read ahead, you know, to gain better understanding or, you know, hang back for a closer study of the lessons, right? And so if you're like me, you know, sometimes I like to read through ahead of, you know, what I'm about to learn, so that this way questions starts formulating in my head. And then, you know, at this point, I can now, you know, once I'm done with this, I can play the video and watch the instructor explain the through a whiteboard, you know, or maybe applying this on a live environment, the concepts of what I just read, right? We also included in here, you know, a keyword search. And so let's say, you know what, let's do CASB was what I'm seeing here, right? So let's say the acronym that I'm using, use that as a reference point to maybe a topic that you might be interested in to find out where within this module this topic is going to be covered. So as I key in my word, you'll notice that on the progress bar, there are now green markings, and the green markings basically you know, identifies where my word appears. And when I click on one of the green markings, watch what happens. It moves up the transcript, and it also moves forward the video, so that, you know, when I'm reading through this and I want to watch the video right away, right? I don't have to search for it. I can pause this and then play this, you know, really giving me the opportunity to either accelerate my training because I'm able to read through and continue on with my training, or if it's a complex concept, I can hang back, pause the video, and read through and digest what I'm reading. And then once I'm able to do that, you know, and comfortable with the knowledge that I just gained, I can now continue with my training, either to watch the video or read through the transcript. In those cases, you're really not putting up with anybody else's pace but your own. Again, like I mentioned earlier on the call, we put you on the driver's seat of your own training, including pacing of your own training. You can hang back, you can accelerate, you can get to the focus training when you need it, okay? And another area that I wanted to show you is the skills check, okay? So when I toggle the skills check to turn on, the skills check is basically a tool that we developed to help you identify, you know, knowledge gaps. Just imagine if you're able to figure out what you don't know prior to taking a training, this would make it so much easier to help focus on those areas, right? And that's exactly what we had in mind when we included skills check testing with our subscription. Okay, so this is a self-testing tool with the main objective of uncovering knowledge gaps or even areas of proficiency to help a user, you know, not only to focus on those areas, but also allow them to make better use of their time. So one of the best practices that I share here is that taking the skills check prior to embarking the training helps you uncover the knowledge gaps and skip areas that you've already mastered, okay? And I also recommend that taking the skills check after going through the course to check for knowledge retention. So let's take a look at the sample of a skills check testing. So the skills check testing, basically, let me just go back here. didn't work for that. 1 second. Let me click on one, and let's take a look at the skills check here. So the skills check testing, what we use or what we employ on the testing are multiple choice, true false types of statement. Okay, so we don't normally, we don't really monitor how many attempts you take, to pass this, only because, again, the main objective is to help you uncover the knowledge gaps or, identify areas that you've already mastered. So you see, in this particular example, there are half shaded skills check testing here, and there's one that is not. So simply means that I have been in this skills check testing before, and I have not completed it yet, right? There's a minimum of 80% score to pass that. So I want to launch one that I haven't been in before. Oh, you know what? Let's launch one that I've been in before so you could see, So let's say, I was in here before, but I had to stop my training. No, hold on. I'm sorry. I think they're working on the skills check feature. So I'm sorry, I'm not able to show you, but it'll basically be, as I mentioned, multiple choice, true false types of statement on the skills check testing, and so you can continue on with those, with the testing. So we'll continue on with the next feature that I wanted to show you. Let's see. Let's go work here. Just launch that. And that is the Ask the Instructor feature, okay? So naturally, as we take our training, questions come up, right? So imagine if we took this course in a live classroom setting or even a live virtual class, we are confined within the settings of the teaching space, and we all know that the real questions come after the class is over, right? So by then, we no longer have the access to the expert, and we're really left on our own devices to figure out the answer, okay? So the advantage of the cloud learning subscription is it allows you to bring together the best of both worlds, right? The convenience of taking the training when you need it, apply the new concepts in real life conditions, and also have the ability to ask questions as it relates to real life conditions, making for a personalized learning experience. So as I mentioned before, right? So when I click on the Ask Your Instructor, it also already identifies which course you're in and where we can reach you. So this is the same email address that you would be receiving the response for, right? And so at this point, you can now, type your question and send it off to an expert. Once you send off your question, it goes into a monitored queue and then fielded over to a pool of subject matter experts identified in the course area that you're taking. So for all you know, the instructor that you're watching may be the same instructor that will be addressing your questions. So again, bringing the best of both worlds, you can, apply the concepts in real life conditions and also have the ability to come back in here and ask the instructor questions about, maybe something that relates to what you're doing and the behavior or the concepts that you just learned. It's not quite lining up, right? So that's one of the most powerful features that we have here, that you're able to connect to an instructor. And I'll show you another area here too, where you can connect, with experts on a live setting, okay? That's one of them, one of three, okay? And so also, let me go back here because I don't see the next one that I wanted to show you. All right, let me go back. Let's click here. So we also have a lab practice environment that we offer within the subscription. And this is basically, let's see if I can find one here. No. Let's go to the database. I know we've got some in here. So most of our courses, we offer the same practice environment offered in the on-demand class that you're watching. And let's see. So we make this feature available, to help with the reinforcement of the lessons. And there's so much flexibility around this that, students can decide when they need a lab. So anytime you see a course that says lab here, means that there's a lab practice environment that's available to you for requests, right? And so when you click on the lab section up here, you can actually, you're actually entering into a reservation system, okay? So you can make a reservation ahead of time, and, you can choose a week that works for you, okay? And once your reservation becomes available, you have access to the environment for 6 consecutive days, which starts on Monday at 8 o'clock and goes all the way through Saturday, 5 o'clock, your local time. So during this 6-day period, you're allowed to, feel free to stop and start, in building your lab file. So within this 6-day period, the lab activity that you perform in your practice environment is preserved for that 6-day period. And with a paid subscription, you are allowed to come back in here and repeat the same lab over and over again as many times as you feel necessary or you feel you need, okay? So you can, you can cancel, you can reschedule, and you can also, request a lab environment anytime. We're building out this feature where, in some of the cases, like in the Java Learning subscription, I'll show you, there are also times where you can, schedule a lab instantly, and that's what we call instant lab, right? So basically, here's what it is. Let me show you. So for this instance, the lab, you can request your lab immediately. So when I click on request your lab, right, it will give you an option to build it now or build it later, right? So when you say build my lab, you'll notice that within 20 minutes, you'll have a notification that we received your request for an instant lab. And minutes after that, within that 20-minute period, you'll get a confirmation that your lab is now available. And within that communication is also a link to your, to your instant lab. When you say not now, you can choose a time when you want the lab to be available to you. Okay. And so we also have enhanced reporting. So you can see this progress report here. The progress report basically is, individual at this point, right? And so it gives you a history of, how many certifications you've earned, how many courses you've completed, what you watch, and how many, minutes you've collectively spent on this particular library. We also captured the last time that you accessed the subscription, and then also present to you the titles that you accessed towards 100% complete, right? You can also launch your training from here as well. Right down below, we'll show you a listing of all of the exams available within the subscription. As I mentioned, since there are 10 in here, you get 1 free take to each one of these, right? So if you pass on the first go around, well and good, you earn your electronic badge. But if not, then that's the time that you pay for the retake. You also find the certifications that you passed and earned in this section. And you also have the ability to print, this progress report, or you can also email this report. And if this was a a team training, you can email this report to anyone who needs to see your progress. So as I mentioned earlier, we also have group progress reporting, and for a paid subscription, mentioned also here that we provide overall usage reporting of the subscription through our enhanced training administrator portal. Okay, the tool allows you to track certified learners as well. So if they earned a badge, you'll see the names of the individuals subscribed to the service, whether or not they passed their certification. And also you can engage new learners and identify users who may need help activating or getting started in their journey. So you can also send the activation letters to those that have not activated. So in this sample, there are like 10 licenses that was purchased, and out of those 10, only 5 have activated the subscription. And you'll see the names of the 5 in here, of the 5 users in here. And then if you click on each of the names, you'll also see a detailed consumption report for each of those individuals. Okay, and that's also, that's included as part of a paid subscription service. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the live sessions. And this is one of those enhancements that we included. And the live sessions here, when you click on live sessions here, either there or, on the front page, we will now be taken to a, as a page where you can connect directly with this experts through live events or coaching sessions. So with the live events, the experts will present on trending topics, best practices, how-to tutorials, and exam prep, tips and tricks, right? And so when you click on the session details, so we provide you with the timing. The session details gives you an overview of what to expect to take away from this session, and you could also have the ability to enroll. Now, the sessions fill up rather quickly, so if you find a session that you like to attend, I encourage you to, enroll right away. I'm not going to enroll on this one because I'm going to be taking away a seat from one of our students. But once you enroll, you'll also be taken, this page refreshes, and you also have the ability to add this immediately to your calendar. So by doing that, you're also able to view right away whether or not, there's a scheduling conflict, and you can adjust your schedules like that way. And then once your enrollment or registration is accepted, you can, you also get, notifications right away, scheduled notifications reminding you that you are, signed up for this particular session, right? So there's also, let me go back here, for the coaching sessions. There are 2 different kinds, right? And these are going to be, this is not like kind of like a webinar where we can host, or we can accommodate, upwards of 50 or more. Most of the time, I think we would accommodate about 20 to 25 students at a time. So that's why it fills up rather quickly. So you'll see here a coaching session on Java SE 11. So these are engagement focused on key topic areas. So in this case, it's Java SE 11, right? And will also allow you to ask questions and hear from other, other students about a particular topic. So, it's sort of similar to a office hours, right? You can jump on the call and ask your questions and drop off immediately after that, or when you need to, right? And so at this point as well, any sessions that you're enrolled, as I mentioned earlier, there are, free offers. This gives you the ability to evaluate, the quality and content of the service. So these free offerings are limited to view only. Only. And so when you see the Explorer free training to expand your knowledge, and we offer this Explorer free training on SaaS, software as a service, platform as a service, or cloud infrastructure or OCI, database, and Java through the Explorer tracks. So the Explorer tracks, by following the curated learning paths, passing the assessment, you earn an Explorer badge, right? So each badge, click on that. And so for this one, you'll see there's a learning path for this. And so each badge is a collective of about 2 to 3 hours worth. And in this case, this is over 6 hours worth of training, prepared according to real world job roles, right? And so once you've completed your training, okay, and you'll also see how much time you need to complete this. So they're just are shorter in durations, really. And so once you click on the Java assessment and you pass that, then you earn your badge, and then you can continue on your journey with an in-depth training to earn the Oracle certification. So in closing, to view what I've just showed you, you can go to education.oracle.com. And then hover over the word training. Okay, and you can click on any of the learning subscriptions that you see here. You can, I think you can do a little preview as well on some of the learning subscriptions here. Database and all that. So this concludes our presentation, and I'm happy to take questions. Roland, do we have any questions on chat? Okay, I don't see any questions on chat. Roland, maybe you're muted. I don't hear you.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Let me check if there are any questions in the window. I don't see any questions, nor any comments. So I think there is one.
All right.
Okay. Sí, si alguien tiene una pregunta adelante, la puede poner ahí en la sección de preguntas y respuestas del Zoom. Y aquí la puede poner en español y yo la puedo traducir en inglés para Cindy. Así que adelante. I think there is going to be one question.
Yeah, I see from Henry.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Henry. Maybe you're muted. I can't hear you.
They can use their microphones, but they can use their chat window.
Yeah.
And the question is for the Analytics Cloud certification. He's asking if he just needs the data management subscription. That's the if for the Analytics Cloud certification, if he only needs the data management subscription.
Yes, actually, the data management is also available. Yeah, you can purchase the, a single subscription. You don't have to subscribe to all of them.
Okay, and he's saying that he is not able to find the Business Analytics Cloud Services Learning subscription.
That would be, okay, again, go to the All Tech subscription. And in here, you'll see data management. And this is available for $2,995. And you can actually preview the content as well. Does that help?
I think yes. I mean, that would be the way to get into this content.
Yes,
so,
and you've got the business analytics right there.
All right.
Yes, and there's your certification.
Pretty clear.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Henry is saying that he's okay.
Wonderful.
Right.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good. De nuevo, si alguien más tiene alguna otra pregunta, además de la que ya se hizo, adelante. Todavía hay minutos que podamos aprovechar a Cindy. Si no, me parece que podemos ir iniciando la finalización de la sesión. So I think there are no more questions, Cindy.
No questions.
I will be
Okay,
starting
great.
sharing my screen.
Thank you very much for having me, Roland. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
It was our pleasure. And I will just start sharing my screen just to wrap up the session. Así que gracias una vez más por haber estado en la sesión. Recuerden que la sesión está grabada por si algo tuvieran que consultar después. Se va a publicar en siguientes días, seguramente en un par de semanas. También recuerden que pueden ocupar los servicios gratis de Oracle a través de este QR code, el Always Free, que son una serie de servicios ilimitados en tiempo, pero limitados en la cantidad de servicios que puedes ocupar. Pero es una gran oferta de Oracle que puedas tener este free tier prácticamente gratis y sin límite de tiempo. Es cómputo, base de datos y algunos elementos más. Pero si quieres probar más servicios de Oracle, recuerda que puedes ocupar este QR code también para $300 en créditos gratuitos. Esos te pueden servir para probar más servicios de Oracle. Okay, thank you again, Cindy. We really appreciate your help and support for this event. Hopefully we can have you in the future for another event for LA OUC. And thank you again.
My pleasure. Thank you, Roland. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hasta luego. Gracias.